Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm Karthik, working as Director, Quality Engineering and Solutions at InnoMinds. Today, we're going to talk about AI-led validation and verification in the medical device industry. As we know, today industry is investing aggressively in AI across products, especially the medical device products. In the areas of AI-enabled diagnostics, AI-powered software as medical device, software and medical device platforms, connected ecosystems, remote monitoring, AI-powered surgical equipment, robotic interventions, so on and so forth. Innovation is accelerating in this medical device space, but the validation, confidence is not accelerating at the same pace. The question leadership is asking today is, can we release faster without increasing the regulatory exposure or patient risk? Typical challenges in the medical device validation and verification industry are much more complex compared to the traditional testing or any other web-based application or an ERP application. Along with all the existing testing challenges, in the medical device industry, we have additional challenges of comprehensive documentation and dossier, which will take a lot of time. Frequent SOTA and FOTA based releases, software over the air and firmware over the air based releases. The risk files are being updated post incident, which can cause or which can lead to a huge patient risk. Compliance documentation is assembled reactively, and the testing needs, along with these complexities, is getting higher and higher, while the delivery cycle time is going lower and lower, as you can see on the right graph. At one point of time, this is going beyond the continuous testing. And this is where we see a clear inflection point, as most of the organizations, be it the medtech enterprises or service-based organizations working with medtech enterprises, are implementing AI in testing, but very few are actually inclined towards an enterprise-driven AI-led quality engineering ecosystem. The core difference between AI in testing, AI-led quality engineering is what we are going to talk about. Before we jump into the difference between these two, we need to understand the investment paradox in AI. As we see, most of the enterprises are not willing to sign in large SOWs or are not willing to invest heavily in AI. They're taking a step back. Why? Because AI is being deployed as a tool across the various line of businesses, various groups, but not as an enterprise capability. Especially in quality and testing, we see AI-generated test cases, AI-generated automation scripts, intelligent defect triaging, defect prediction, proactive release scoring. We see all these various agents working hand in hand. But when you come to the medical device industry, these can improve the efficiency. But does regulator ask for the efficiency? No. The question that a regulator would ask is, how many scripts did you automate? So that's not the question that a regulator is going to ask. The question will be, how do you determine a particular release is safe, or a particular release doesn't have any risk involved for the patient? And that distinction is very critical in medical devices. The real issue in the medical device industry, the real issue in medical device industry validation and verification is not insufficient testing, but it's fragmented visibility of the risk, especially in the areas of the firmware updates, the cloud patches we have, the AI model updates we continuously have, the algorithms we update based on the real-time patient data, the field incidents, control and preventive actions. And traditional QA was never designed for this kind of ecosystem and complexity. So instead of adding more automation, we need to build an AI-led quality engineering control plane which can control this ecosystem and bring in the quality as a way of life. And then here are the typical trends that we see in the industry today. The maturity that you see towards the right, where most of these services have already attained the maturity, be it then sprint automation, service virtualization, and then today, if you see the continuous integration and continuous deployment, the dev desktops, which is a combination of single-click automation with low-code, no-code, dev, SecOps, and perfops integrated together, which we call as dev desktops, is at its peak of implementation today. And as you see on the left, the AI in testing is low, but yeah, it's picking up quite fast, thanks to the cloud of the world, cursor of the world, and various agents and the licensed tools that we have in the market. And then agentic AI and SDLC, and then analytics-driven quality engineering, all these things are picking up. However, we see in the next couple of years, AI-led quality intelligence or AI-led quality engineering platform is going to play a vital role, especially in the medical device industry. So, how are we going to take care of these, or how are we going to implement these kind of AI-led quality engineering platform? Is by powering these AI-led platforms through various LLMs, SLMs. You can also see the quality cycle being reduced with the help of these AI-led quality engineering platform, while we also ensure that we bring in all the critical success factors into the quality ecosystem. So what could be those critical success factors for a medical device? We must have a regulatory and business compliance for sure, ensuring the safety and risk control effectiveness, bringing in the clinical performance and efficacy, considering all the usability and the human factors, and technical performance and reliability, of course. While we are ensuring all these things, we need to continuously take care of traditional validation and verification initiatives, be it at the functional side of it or the non-functional aspects of it, adhering to all the IEC and ISO standards and guidelines, adhering to the FDA and EU pre-submission guidelines. All these things play a major role in a medical device, in the success of a medical device. And then how do we bring in these success factors into the validation and verification in a medical device is by equipping our customers with our framework called EQUIP, AIQEP, AI-led quality engineering platform, which we call it, powered with 4 different pillars. As you see, these are the four pillars that play a major role in establishing a AI-led quality engineering platform. The pillar one, regulatory and risk foundation. Everything starts here. If this pillar is weak, nothing above or nothing or no other pillars would actually matter. This is where all the external data sources are integrated. This acts as a data ingestion layer and constantly update the risk management system, the DHF, as we know that the VNV plan in the medical devices. And we all know that within the medical devices, quality begins with risk, not with the automation. And under this pillar, we integrate all the ISO and IEC standards, FDA, CSA aligned AI governance. We bring in the mapping between hazard, harm, and risk control. And then we also integrate the clinical risk acceptability criteria. We also bring in the end customer expectations, post-market signals and feedback loops is also what we integrate to bring in those sentimental analytics. The key principle here is AI must operate within regulatory boundaries, not outside them, and that too with the human in loop. So having this human in loop governance can only provide recommendations. So with the help of this human in loop governance, the AI can only provide the recommendations but not accepting any of those risks, updating any of those risk management files or design history files. We must ensure there is a clear differentiation between what AI is allowed to do and what AI is not allowed to do as part of this pillar. AI is allowed to read the design history file. AI is allowed to analyze the traceability and give recommendations. AI is allowed to correlate the risks and flag any missing evidences. However, it depends on the human in loop, who must take a decision on all these factors. And we also clearly define AI is not allowed to approve any of those design changes, accept any of the residual risk, close any control and preventive actions, or modify any sort of regulatory artifacts. They only provide these recommendations. And this pillar ensures we don't use AI to bypass compliance, but we use AI to strengthen the compliance. That's the mindset that we bring in with this pillar. The second and one of the most important or the true differentiator would be the knowledge graph. The quality knowledge graph and the traceability fabric is what we call as, where most medtech companies manage documents. The AI QVP Equip manages connected evidence. Here we build the medical device quality and risk knowledge graph, where it connects various layers of the medical device, a device version versus a change, and how this change is impacting the risk, which is controlling your kappa, change control and preventive actions, and then your verification, how it is interconnected with the defects that we are getting, how it is interconnected with the various incidents, your regulatory reporting through contextualized taxonomy and ontology mapping, which plays a vital role here. And then along with it, what we also do is we bring in AST parsing based semantic mapping, open telemetry through traces methodologies to ensure that we understand each function and each method of a software and how it is interacting with the firmware and the hardware of a medical device, which is very essential to have this knowledge graph and a traceability fabric. Let me give a simple example. If a firmware update touches a safety critical module within a medical device, this knowledge fabric can understand which requirements are impacted, associated user stories of the test cases, which hazards are affected, which controls may degrade, and with the help of understanding of user stories and associated test cases, we understand which tests have to be re-executed, which control and preventive actions have to be um, uh, improved or corrected, and what are the associated kappas, whether clinical assumptions are impacted or not. So these are the various intelligence that we can get in or bring in into the quality ecosystem. Now, a layer intelligence on top of a DHF intelligence agent. So we can bring in various agents into this pillar, like DHF intelligence agent, which validates the completeness, uh, identify any missing flags, any missing flag, any missing approvals, detect any traceability gaps, and then we can bring in a risk management intelligent agent, which ensures every hazard has control coverage, monitor any residual risks and shifts, correlates any post-market signals through the L1, L2, and L3 incidents. And then we'll have a compliant and vigilance agent, which clusters various compliant trends and give the continuous feedback to the human in loop, detects early harms and patterns and provide recommendations, triggers any re-verification recommendations, and then we'll have a traceability agent, which will ensure the bi-directional trace integrity, ensuring the bi-directional traceability and the DHF is continuously updated through recommendations, and then score audit readiness through evidence completeness agent. So these are the various agents that we can bring in, and there is no limit to it with the help of a knowledge graph that we're going to get. And this is not a typical test automation. This is connected quality reasoning, and this pillar answers the regulator score question. How can we prove that release is safe? And the most important pillar is AI-led verification and assurance. Now that we have connected knowledge, we have a integrated knowledge graph. Now we introduce GOUND AI intelligence, and this is where most companies stop at AI in testing. We go further to implement verification sufficiency intelligence. Is the verification enough? We implement risk control effectiveness monitoring, risk-based regression optimization, monitoring the model drift, and then controlled AI rules, where we can define a rule like no evidence, no recommendation to the DHF. And we can also bring in a verification sufficiency agent to validate whether the evidences that we got are enough to be uploaded into the DHF document or not. We have verified enough, or have we verified based on the risk? So those things can be given as feedback to the human in loop. And then we also bring in risk control and effectiveness agent, where it asks, are our controls actually working in the real world conditions? How do we know whether or how do we simulate the real world conditions based on the constant end customer or constant production feedback, identifying any specific model drift. Are AI models behaving differently post deployment or not? And that can be possible only by integrating these agents with the production systems or the constant production data. The difference here is subtle yet impactful. AI is not trying to generate more test cases here. AI is recommending and deciding which tests matter most, which regression can be reduced, how can I cut down the test cycle time while ensuring the risks are not compromised, which areas require deeper validation. And all of this is explainable with no black box validation logic. Every recommendation must be defensible with a proper audit ready evidence reflecting into the design history file. And the last but not least, the decision intelligence governance pillar, where we have this is where everything comes together through the governance, and this integrates with the foundation of this equip. This integrates with the top layers of this equip, as you see. This pillar is essentially the enterprise quality control plane, where it provides go no go decision intelligence. It gives you a confidence score for a particular release. It gives you risk support or risk acceptance support, various CIO dashboards. We can also define the human in loop approval workflow with the help of role-based and access controls. Now, different stakeholders, different business stakeholders come into this pillar, like CIO, validating or with a simple prompt, checking whether the portfolio-wide release confidence, what is my portfolio level release confidence. A head of quality engineering can check with the prompt with the help of these conversational agents. He can look at the risk prioritized regression scope. A regulatory and audit department can actually verify the traceability, integrity, and evidence completeness for a particular release or for the whole product. Operations can use it. This is not a reporting pillar. That's the reason why you don't see the word at all, the reports or analytics. This is governed decision intelligence. AI informs, as we discussed earlier, and humans in the loop decide. And this governance structure is very much essential in the MedTech. As you see, the foundation for all the four pillars are the accelerators and enablers that we bring onto the table. They are the chip to cloud capabilities that we have, and then cloud to cognitive capabilities that we have, the medical device process asset library that we have gathered by working with multiple MedTech customers across the globe, and the true velocity, which is an agentic AI-enabled accelerator to automate the entire SDLC and STLC. The various partnerships that we have in the industry, and then the AI ecosystem and the partnerships that we have, our MedTech Validation and Verification Center of Excellence, and our 510K compliance and pre-audits through our partners. This plays as a foundation. While we have this foundation and the pillars ready, we will adopt the enterprise LLMs. So this equip framework is completely customizable as per the enterprise defined large language or a small language models. any predefined RAG models, ISO standards, and predefined security measures. At the top, you can also see the various AI led QV or quality engineering service offerings in validation and verification that we bring in across various layers of the medical device, right from the software to the hardware, the firmware, the BSP layer, and even beneath the BSP layer, which will go up to the system on chip. And then these various layers of medical device, which will be in turn governed by the quality governance that you see on top, the delivery office, the engineering departments, and our resource management group. So that explains all our core pillars and our equip what we call as AI and quality engineering framework, through which we bring in artificial intelligence into quality intelligence. And then how do we bring in this AI and quality intelligence into the very operational level? We bring in these AI and quality intelligence into the, as we discussed earlier, into the various layers of it. Hardware design, development and validations, firmware design, development and validation, and software design, development and validation. Now, why do you think Innomines as an organization is the right partner of choice for the medical device validation? Is because of our comprehensive experience across all these areas. We're one of those niche organizations where we have capabilities to design the hardware, to design the firmware and software, and then manufacture the devices, and then hand it over to the customer. All the above covered through our AI accelerators to accelerate the SDLC and STLC, the IQ, OQ, and the PQ, I mean, installation qualification, operational qualification, and the performance qualification that you see, everything is covered through our AI agents and through our partnership-based licensed tools. And then we also have design qualification, design controls that we bring in through IEC 62366. And ISO standards. And then while we have these operational things under control, below are the various components that we ensure we are validating, especially in the context of a medical device. As you see, these are the various components that we ensure that we are validating thoroughly, be it the touch screens of the hardware and the firmware, the microprocessors, the batteries, the connectivity, be it through BLE or Wi-Fi or interoperability, how the data is being transmitted, and what are the various algorithms, the AI models that are used, the logging and the diagnostics, and then how these devices are connected to the various companion applications, and then clinical simulations through secure and safety coding standards, getting an interface check and interoperability tests, data flow validations, simulating the clinical benchmarks is what we bring in with our deep expertise. So along with this, why AI-led QA is different from AI in testing is important to understand. Let me summarize this clearly, because we have discussed about what is AI in testing and why AI-led quality engineering is important in medical device. As we understand, AI in testing improves the automation efficiency, whereas AI-led quality engineering improves your release confidence, It reduces the regulatory exposure, connects validation to post-market intelligence, creates audit-ready defensibility, aligns business, engineering, regulatory, and operations department. In medical devices, speed without confidence is risk, and confidence without intelligence is slow. However, AI-led QV, it enables both. It gives you speed with confidence, and it gives you confidence with intelligence. To close on this webinar, accelerated validation in medtech is uh, not about increasing the automation volume. It's not important how many test cases you are automating, how many uh, 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 number of test cases you are able to automate in a day. It is about increasing the decision confidence. Our AQUEP AI QEP brings in these four key pillars, which plays on regulatory and risk foundation, quality knowledge and traceability fabric, AI-led verification and assurance, decision intelligence and governance. This ensures, these four pillars ensures we don't just test the software, we govern the safety, we govern the confidence, and we govern the compliance. And this is what allowing us to release faster and release safer while working with our customers. And we also ensure that we are able to release faster and safer without increasing any patient risk, without increasing any audit exposure, and without losing any regulatory defensibility. If anybody would like to understand more about any of these pillars, the various agents that we can bring in into the medical device industry, you can reach out to us through our website. Thanks a lot for the opportunity to discuss about AI and medtech validation and verification. Thank you. Bye-bye.